Okay, still talking about the about complex numbers. Now, the second example is adding and subtracting complex numbers. Now, we mentioned imaginary numbers, I, right? I equals the square root of -1. Now, complex numbers has I in it, but it's not considered an imaginary number. It's called complex numbers. So complex numbers, I wrote here, complex numbers is a plus b times I. So it's got an imaginary number in it, okay? And this is the standard form to write, so it's the proper way to write it. Now, what do these letters mean? Well, take a look at these examples here. A is a number that is not being multiplied to I, okay? So see here, 5 times I, and I have a -2 here. So when a complex numbers always deals with an integer with an imaginary number. So complex numbers consist of two: an integer or number, real number, plus or minus an imaginary number. So the imaginary number is always written second. Okay, just like here. Real number, imaginary. Real number, imaginary. So all these are written in standard form. Okay, so I'm looking at a complex numbers here. I'm gonna be adding and subtracting them. Now, take a look at this first example here. And notice I have parentheses here. Okay, but I could take them off and combine like terms. Okay, why? Because of the plus sign. If I distributed this plus sign, plus with a positive with the positive is a positive. Positive with the negative is still a negative, so nothing changes. So I can take this off and just write -2 or -2 plus 5i plus 1 minus 7i. And it's as simple as combining like terms. So I'm going to combine these two are like terms, and the 1 and the -2 are like terms. So 5i, a positive 5i, minus 7i would be a -2i. -2 plus 1 would be -1. So it's that simple. I have it written in standard form, right? Real number with an imaginary number. Moving on to this one. Here, I can't just take away the parentheses yet. Why? Because I have that negative, and it does affect my sign for this for these two terms. So I have to distribute that negative to both signs. So negative with a negative equals a positive. Negative with positive equals a negative. So this is going to be a +1 and a -2i. And then I can just get rid of my parentheses. So 4 plus 6i. So make sure you're careful when we're adding and subtracting and there's parentheses. When there's a negative, that negative has to be distributed to both terms. Same, combining like terms here. I have a 6i minus 2i, that would be 4i, okay? And then I have a 1 plus a 4 would be 5, okay? So 6i minus 2i was a +4i, so it'll be 5 plus 4i. And I can't go any further. Can't combine these two or these two because they're not like terms.